Hey everybody, it's Tafony here once again. Hope you're doing well today. We're rambling about the Mannequins by Whimsical Wraps. Three Sisters. It is a triple analog filter, or as they describe it, three linked filters for spectral mixing and resonance sculpting, and it sounds like this. Okay, before we get started, I need to give a huge shout out, a huge thank you to Matt for lending me this one. I was not expecting to be doing a video on this one at all, but here we are with something exciting, something super exciting today. So, if I can just say, I don't have any experience or a gas or background or insight on Three Sisters. I think that might hopefully prove to be an interesting video for that reason, because there's so much hype, there's so much not backstory, but like people are very polarized by it because it is very expensive and it is very hyped, and also I think it is very hated for the same reasons, right? People are contrarian about that, and I am curious to see what it is, kind of not following any of that, going into it totally blind. So I feel like the minutia of triple filter in this level of depth and cost for your rack is probably not something that's like aimed at someone who makes hard techno like I usually do, which is totally fine, and I'm super excited to explore it, but maybe we can, I don't know, present a unique perspective on it going into it. So with that being said, let's listen to what I have going on here. We have a triangle wave going in. So just for going through what we have on the layout here, you'll see, not hearing very much right away, but I'll open that up and we'll hear it in a moment. We have the green signal is my incoming triangle wave from the Mind Phaser. We'll probably throw some different things at it as we go along, but green cable, green input, green on the screen of the data, and then the blue output is the blue on the screen of the data as well. Hopefully this is okay to see. I am finding it's kind of hard in videos to actually shoot with the data because it has that glossy screen that reflects everything, but hopefully you'll be able to see it okay as I am able to see it okay on the iPad right now. So you'll see coming in right now is that ramp wave, not a triangle. Sorry, I did say it was a triangle. Let's switch over to a triangle just so we can hear something real simple. There. Triangle wave coming in, and you're listening to the output, which is on the blue. So right now we have the all input, and today we are going to read from the sacred scroll that is this quick guide that was rolled up. I assume it ships this way, which is cool. So each of the three sisters are independent multi-mode filters accessed via the lower 8 jacks. So there's high, center, and low, 3 separate filter paths. You don't get individual control of them. They just follow one macro knob, which is totally cool. But what you do get here is an all input, so it'll like basically mult it into all of your outputs, and then you can individually access them. So you'll hear quickly changes the character a little bit, right? Because you're only hearing one input as opposed to multing it to all the outputs. But if we do high in, high out, shouldn't be any different than using the all output and just listening to the high output. So just to get it started, I'm going to start with one of the outputs and one of the inputs, even though it doesn't really. Well, let's just go through and check out all 3 filters because this is in my mind where I want to go do it. So we're starting in Formant mode. I don't think the crossover mode actually changes anything on the individual outputs, but maybe we'll get to that in a moment. I'm going to take the quality setting all the way to the left, and then we're going to check those all out as well. But because we're listening to the high filter, I just want to show you that it's not, there are 3 independent state variable filters, so it's not 3 bandpass filters, it's not 1 filter with state variable 3 unique outputs. They're all completely separate. So if we listen to here, this is the high output. If we listen to the low output, it's different because it's a different filter at a different cutoff. And then center is a different filter at a different cutoff, but the center also has a different slope. And if I remember correctly, if I can see, yeah, so slopes are 24 dB per octave for high and low, while the center has a 12 dB per octave on both the upper and lower bands. So the middle is a bandpass, I believe. But then all of this is compressed at the all output. So if we listen to that now, we're listening to all input and output, but there's all number of different ways you can sort of mangle this. If we go, mangle is not the word, but if you listen to, if we only input on the high, it's quieter because it's not 3 different filters going on necessarily. But consider everything on here. Consider that you could self-oscillate other inputs while only running audio into the high. Like, and I point that out right off the rip here because I'm never going to cover everything on every module, just because I can already hear the angry comments about how I didn't use it as a 2-operator FM, or whatever your favorite use is. If you have a favorite use for the Three Sisters, just shout it out in the comments, and then people can check it out. So we're going to go back to the all input. So I'm sending that triangle wave to the high filter, the low filter, and the center filter. And you'll notice, with the exception of cutting it off almost completely, there is, at least at these settings, almost always an output, right? It's kind of like an all-pass filter in there. Obviously, it's 3 unique filters, but the way that there's almost always an output, and the sonic territory is sort of like, I'm going to make a comparison to phase modulation, and you can tell me how that's not accurate in the comments, but it has, like, when they say resonant sculpting, it's because you're sort of doing a type of wave shaping by moving through here, right? So as I'm scanning through that, you can hear a bunch of different qualities. And to be totally honest, I know there is a lot of different outputs here. I am kind of hard pressed to use them independently. And you could send 3 different voices in for different sonic qualities, you know what I mean? You can almost, like, this is a real stretch, but you could compare this to sort of like doing like a jumble hinge or a soundstage if you do that way, but like consider it like different sections of your mix, right? If you ran different sources into different outputs. But for me, for the most part, I really like how the all output sounds, that 3 different filters for all sound shaping, somewhat compressed, really sounds good to my ears. We went over the input and output. Let's go over the quality filter. So first, this is our quality filter. Now, that doesn't make it bit reduced or anything like that. Obviously, it's analog. It says traditionally, filters have control over the quality factor or resonance, and emphasis is placed at the cutoff frequency for that acid sound. Well, again, I'll say on the website, they have some really bizarre naming conventions. I don't know if, like, I don't know, they're just trying to hit a different pay grade than I'm in or whatever, but like, just some bizarre stuff. So yeah, you can, like, acid is resonant-y, but also it will shape your sound in different ways too. Like, if you're not hitting certain peaks, then it made my whole output quieter too. So like, I'm not gonna go over every piece of minutia like that, but just think like, oh, and it will self-oscillate, even when I'm malting it to all inputs. So let's bring this back down. And for my example before, if you put it into one output and you crank the resonance, you get this wild droning. I'm going to pitch down my incoming source, right? But consider that the self-oscillation has pitch too. Anyway, it's called rambling about for a reason. Let's go over to the all input again. And for me, I love using ladder filters with pinging the envelope, but there's something to be said here for like slowly modulating our cutoff, because it is, sorry, let me just patch in a triangle LFO to that side. Because it's like shaping the timbre, not the cutoff, right? It's not sweeping it out completely. So you can kind of go more drone territory, in this patch anyway, and use it as wave shaping. Right? I'm getting ahead of myself, but that was the FM going in there. If we crank up the quality now, right up to self-oscillation almost, the bass boost is intense. And I hope you can hear that. If I move the Three Sisters into a lower frequency even, it sounds really nice. I really hope that comes across because it's so deep. And yeah, self-oscillation can be had. Take out my FM. If you look at how much we're wave shaping it, it's pretty interesting. Get out from there. I know droning is probably not the knob twiddling that we all want to listen to, but I feel like in the case of the Three Sisters, it's really useful. So, okay, so span, where frequency shifts all filters as one, span pushes only low and high. Turn clockwise to spread them further apart, or counterclockwise where the two filters will pass through the center and slightly overlap. The range is wide for dramatic effects, responding well to slow modulations. They miss the M in modulations into the audio range. Center will respond differently in crossover mode, where span sets the size of the pass band between its upper and lower boundaries. So now if we do span, oh, I was in the least span. So if we really crank the span, let's try that FM again. Bring less resonance in. I will say on the FM control real quick here, when you put it at noon, it still goes. like there's no way to attenuate it completely, which is kind of funny. And I think when you crank this up all the way, you're almost putting them together on the high end, if I'm not mistaken. So if we bring this down more into the middle, it's a nice spread if you want as much range as you want. Now if we bring this up in pitch, self-oscillate a little bit, or just shy of self-oscillating. Now if we audio rate our FM, you get these super, and if I can just say real quick here, the manual makes mention of using this as like a 2-op FM, and I kind of hear where the all-passiness of all of these is doing phase modulation, I believe, because that sounds totally like phase mod to me. And I think a lot of the arguing I saw online was sort of around like, is this worth it or not? And I think that's for you to decide, but a lot of the discussion about it being just 3 filters I think is kind of reductive to ignore this because it sounds so good, or because you're not thinking about it in the way that you should be looking at it as like an all-pass filter in a like way that it's kind of like a platform, right? It has nice low end when you can get to it. Like the resonance doesn't, or what do they call it, quality? It doesn't push it out of the low end because it's probably spread, at least in this patch, to include peaks and the low end too. Look how crazy our waveform got. So now if I audio rate this, what does this sound like? So this is in Formant mode. If we switch over, so atop it all, the filters include a modality. Crossover provides full spectrum processing. Low is low pass, high is high pass, and center fills the gap. Sorry, Modulation of span not only shifts the high pass and low pass cutoffs, but articulates the width of the center. Resonant peaks are aligned, giving 2 frequency boosts, but the Formant modes becomes a bank of 3 bandpass filters. Well, okay, well, we were in bandpass mode this whole time. Switch over to crossover mode. Okay, FM out. Oh, I like the sound of the Formant mode. This also can't handle as much resonance. Let's bring the span back. Oh, Formant mode was so much more interesting. That's what happens if we modulate, I don't know, quality. Let's throw an LFO at it. Shape. Or FM. Ironically, it almost sounds more Formant-y in my mind here because it's like squawkier. Oh, the Formant mode just sounds so much better in this patch. Which is really interesting. Oh, I wouldn't be leaving that. Okay. So on that note, let's patch in a melody. So CV is going to go into our pitch. And I'm just going to lay 4 on the floor because we want it to be real simple. Sorry, I need to malt that. Give me one moment. We are going to pitch tack. So there is a volt per octave input over here. All right, so not using any VCA right now, but we will in a moment. Let's pitch this down a little bit. Tracking volt per octave. I think we got to take our cutoff down a little bit because we're losing too much high end. And it does sound, lack of a better term, really tasty. Like, it feels like there's just a special wave shaping that I haven't really heard anywhere else on board. Because there is. CV coming in, we're going to ping our VCA. So what if we try the usual, or my usual, we'll do FM using that same envelope. Oh, that sounds really nice. Definitely sounding like low pass territory here. Listen to individual outputs for fun. So here's the center. So yes, it's kind of like a bandpass, but not quite. Here's the low. Observe how the span affects this. And then we'll go into the high. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. So let's try something else out for fun. Alright, here comes Laquelic. Oh, the low end is like crazy. I mean, if some ladder filters have resonance compensation, this thing has its own filtered peak it, right? Alright, try crossover now. Alright, Piston Honda now. Let's try it. If we can reach the mix, of course. I'm still tracking volt per octave. Maybe we'll try and pull that out in a moment. Link that in. In comes Piston Honda. 1 moment. Here we go. Formant. Again, this might just be how I'm patching it, but I'm just finding the Formant mode sounds so much better. There's something special. Let's try a different preset. There's something special there. Is it worth taking out a line of credit over? I don't know about that. Oh, let's see. See, but when you hit different sweet spots, you get different results, obviously, but it does sound really good. And then we'll send some modulation to the shape. There's just, I think wave shaping is what makes me do that face. And when you get delicious wave shaping out of a filter, it's hard to not. It's another voice we can try. We did Laquelic, we did Mind Phaser. Let's do Earthquaker, and that'll probably be the last one, and then I will play us out with this. I mean, you got something special going on here. It's a lot of money, though. If that was probably the take going in, you won't be surprised to hear that's the take coming out too. Alright, let's mix in some sub-octave from Earthquaker Wave Transformer. There is like a resonant zappiness to it that's just... That sounds so good. Go back over to crossover mode. Let's just listen to the center filter. Yeah. Stop modulating the shape. Oh, we got 303 for you. Oh, that sounds marvelous. High? Oh, sorry, I was listening to low. This is the center. Like EQs there, like a low end boost. High pass. Yeah. I don't know. I hope I was able to do some justice to the sisters. Wow. I mean, it's very unique. Alright, hey, I'm Tafony. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, like, comment, subscribe, do all of that crap that YouTube is always on my case but not promoting to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.